So guys, oftentimes on this channel, you're going to see some kind of repeat customers, if you will, some folks that we continue to bring back on, companies that we bring back on because, well, in essence, we're getting tremendous feedback from individuals through our channel and other channels that are actually going out, taking action, moving on board with them. And we're getting just really good from a customer service standpoint to a return on investment standpoint. All these things are coming back to us with very clear messages that people are performing when given that guidance, and that they are, moving towards that successful, kind of financial future, whatever that is that they're looking for. So because of that, we continue to bring some of the same folks back here on the channel. Got a great episode on here today, and it's been, probably a year, maybe 2 years since we've had this gentleman here on the channel. Mr. Kyle Cook from Little Pink Houses of America is joining us today. Kyle, you've been on with us maybe 2 years ago, I think, just talking about maybe the state of the union with real estate investing in general. Obviously, you've been involved with Pink for many years. Welcome.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you having me on.
Now, you're a pro. You've been, at least quasi full-time. Now, you're an entrepreneur. You've got a number of different business opportunities, obviously, that command your attention from a day-to-day, week-to-week standpoint. But you've been full-time in some capacity real estate for what, 15, 20 years now?
Well, full-time, really real estate full-time since about 2013 is when I went full-time. I've been doing real estate on the side while I had a job since the mid-90s. So, I mean, I've been doing real estate for a long time. Full-time part has been since 2012 or 13 is when that real estate really became more of a full-time job.
Got it. And what attracted you initially to the Pink model? Now, you were attracted to Pink with my partner, Scott. This is long before we started, being a channel sponsor here on VIP. So it was before kind of the hype. You were one of the, original, affiliate investors and opened up Jackson, Mississippi initially. And I know that you had that relationship with Scott, but if you were 30,000 feet looking at Pink, what drew you to it? Obviously, you had some experience with it, so you knew that the model itself worked. Regret your decision, embrace your decision, loving what you do right now with Pink and your involvement. Obviously, you have kind of risen through the ranks. You started as an affiliate, moving forward through that, and now you are one of the high-level coaches. So you get to work with folks that are just coming on board. Just general experience in general, what attracted you to Pink, and kind of what are you seeing out there right now?
Oh, it's been an awesome experience. I mean, I love the branding that Pink gives me. I mean, I've really enjoyed working with Scott, and I mean, he's out there doing it every day. I mean, I know there's a lot of gurus out there that have a one-trick pony and come up with something and they sell it, but they really aren't doing it. But I mean, Pink has been in the market, and they do it every day, just like all the affiliates are. I mean, So that's obviously attracted me to it. And then the support that comes with that. I mean, we've got access to anybody in the corporate office pretty much anytime that we need it. Are giving any kind of support. We're looking at different markets around the country. I mean, it's just been a great experience.
What do you like about doing it as a coach? You're obviously getting people that are being put under your tent. You're out there doing the deals yourself. So what do you love about that? I mean, getting new people that are excited coming on board with our brand and with our business model, exhilarating, taxing, if you can speak on that for a minute.
Yeah, I mean, it's
relaying some of the training that you've obviously received over the last handful of years, and being able to impart that on someone else, and ultimately, hopefully, help change their financial future. That's got to be exciting for you, I would think.
Oh yeah, it's definitely been awesome. I mean, I really enjoy working with people all over the country. I mean, it's been very, very interesting, and I love showing them how to do things and putting my spin on them. And I've got a lot of experience in different areas. And it's been fun to see. I mean, to give people early help them close a deal and give them early Christmas presents. I mean, it's been exciting. I mean, I'm a deal junkie. I mean, I love creating the deals and putting creative financing together to help people. I mean, it can be a little taxing because, I mean, when something doesn't go the affiliate's way, I mean, it hurts me just like it hurts them. So, I mean, it
doesn't go perfect. It doesn't go perfectly every time.
No, of course not. But so, I mean, mentally can be tough because, I mean, I feel like, I mean, I got kicked in the gut just like they did. But I mean, on the other hand, I mean, when we get the deal done and they get a paycheck, I mean, that's even greater feeling.
Yeah, no, and let me kind of second on that. So obviously, all of our coaches have done multiple deals, and we'll kind of dive into your personal deals here in just a second, Kyle. But when we're bringing new people on board, whether they've got real estate experience or not, there is just such a high out of getting them coached and trained up. And then when they ultimately, put their first deal on paper, and then when it becomes not paper money, but it's actually money that you get to see them or hear about them putting in the bank. No, that's great. And guys, again, that's a testament to our coaching structure. That's a testament to our training program. People are actually out there doing deals. So there's so much white noise. There's so many gurus out there, most of which are not doing deals themselves, and I'm not going to name any names, but I've been in the game long enough, and I've been on kind of the speaking and training and coaching circuit long enough. And Kyle, you can attest to this. Most of the people that are out there as the quote unquote guru maybe have 2, 3, 4, 5 deals under the belt. And all of a sudden they're the mastermind of whatever home study course that would happen to be. Guys, this is totally different. We are providing with Pink a business in a box. We're going to drop the playlist below. What we're going to ask you to do is, if you already know you have interest, go ahead and drop an email to pink@vipfinancialeducation.com. That's pink like the color at vipfinancialeducation.com. And the subject line, put VIP Pink Conversation. In the body of the email, go ahead and include your first, your last name, obviously the best phone number to contact you at. We'll send you an email with additional information. I myself personally will do the follow-up to gauge whether or not it's a good fit for us, good fit for you, and if we decide to move forward, what those next steps would look like. Kyle is one of our coaches out there. And Kyle, let's dive into the nitty-gritty. Everyone that watches these videos, anyone that wants to get or is excited about getting into real estate investing, there's a common denominator, and that's, how much money can I make? Right? No one's doing this as a hobby, and maybe they are, but that hobby ultimately they're hoping produces some revenue. Do you mind breaking down your last couple deals for us, talking about moving parts, the good, the bad, and the ugly? And at the end of the day, would love to know kind of what that bottom line number looked like for you and how much money you ultimately had to put in to get that out as a return on your investment.
Right. Okay. Well, I'll take one of the deal examples here. I'll take the kind of the more bread and butter type deal here to start with. This was a house that we found. I believe this one was listed on Zillow for sale by owner. We called on the property. The price that the seller was asking was $272,500.
And that's Jackson, Mississippi. So that's kind of a median home value there.
That's probably that's probably the median.
Kind of like you said, bread and butter deal,
right.
That $200,000-$300,000 range, kind of middle Americana. Got it.
Right. And this was a house that this particular owner had lived in at one time. And then he bought a new house and couldn't sell this one. So he, what I call, became an accidental landlord. So now he's got a rental property that he's been renting. His renter was time for his renter to move out. So we found him then and we pitched the lease purchase deal to him and showed him how he could make more going through us than selling traditionally with a realtor and having to pay a 6% commission and typically closing cost. So the way the numbers worked out, we got it under contract for $272,500. He wanted a monthly payment of $2,200. We went out there and marketed it. We found a buyer that was willing to pay $279,000 $500 for is what the final value was that we agreed on. And the buyer had $12,500 to put down, and they were willing to pay the $2,200 a month monthly price. So if you look at that, I mean, and in our deal, in this particular case, we did give the seller with $5,000 of the $12,500 that we got. So on this particular deal, when it got to the closing table, we were able to put $7,500 in our pocket for our part of the process, and it probably took 45 days between when we got the house under contract and started marketing and when we closed and on the lease option to put the buyer in there and collect our $7,500.
Put that money in the bank. So, and guys, let me kind of drill down on this, just those of you that are watching. So we can put the sexiest deals of all time on here. We could, and Kyle has done deals where you made north of $70,000, $80,000. We can drop links on that. Those are deals that he's done in the past, but what we also like to show is kind of that low end, right? So we're a conservative organization. We like to under promise and over deliver. Our national average per transaction is closer to about $15,000. But I love the fact that Kyle put a deal on the table here where inside of 45 days, didn't put a nickel on the table. And inside of that 45 days, through some simple marketing tactics, obviously, and that's all part of our training, and Kyle can attest to that, made $7,500. Guys, that's more than a lot of people make in a month. You made that in a month and a half, didn't risk anything but your time. You would take that deal 100 times out of 100, correct, Kyle?
10 a month would be fine with me.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. 5, 10 a month of those. So, and guys, that's soup to nuts. So that's from the time that the house gets put under contract, which again is just part of our proprietary document set and contracts. Doesn't matter where you're watching from right now. We've got those contracts documents already blessed, approved in all 50 states. We're also active in Canada right now. So if you're a Canadian subscriber or watcher right now, we can still help you as well. If you're outside of that scope, we hope to be able to service you soon. But right now we are locked into the United States and Canada. Those are our only markets that we're open. Guys, there is scarcity with this. So we are capping markets depending on available inventory and population. When a market's closed, the market's closed. So there is a buy-in. So if you are interested, go ahead and send that email to pink@vipfinancialeducation.com. Include conversation VIP pink in the subject line, obviously first and last name and the best phone number to reach you. We will send an email. Guys, we do have 2 barrier to entries. So you are buying a business in a box. We've got an associate level. Full disclosure, it is a $40,000 buy-in. We've got a master level. Full disclosure, it is a $65,000 buy-in. But to get involved in business with the support, kind of a nice little bow on top of it, and your return on investment, you can be operating in the black inside of 12 months and typically much less than that. Kyle can obviously attest to that as well. So $7,500 on that first deal, Kyle. Let's break down another one.
Okay, yeah, I'll go over this one, and it was kind of an interesting deal. This one, if I remember right, was about $600,000 on Zillow, and this was a 4-bedroom, 3-bath house, about 3,000 square feet with, I think it had 45 acres of land with it also. So that price was about $600,000. So we signed the seller up at, I think at $575 on that one, started marketing the property. Weren't getting a lot of interest in it. So we talked to the seller and asked them if they would be willing to split the land or take the land off totally. So we kind of went at it 2 ways. We split off half the land and we kept half the land with the property. And then we started marketing it at $420, which that got us a lot more interest. I mean, that's a little bit easier price point for Jackson, Mississippi income and people here. So that's what we ended up doing, is getting the property under contract for $400. I mean, the price with our seller was $420,000. And the seller wanted $5,000 down, and $2,200 a month payment. And that was with 15 acres with the house. And they kept the other 30 acres. So we found a buyer at $435,000. They had $20,000 down to put down, and they could pay the $2,200 a month. So that's kind of how that deal went. So that was and it was probably about, by the time we had the marketing at the higher price and the bigger acreage, it was probably about 90 days there before we secured our buyer, from the time we took it under contract and marketing and actually found our end buyer. So that put in our pocket at the closing $15,000.
15 grand. So just to recap here, guys. So had one deal, 45 days, soup to nuts, 7,500. Another day, 0 to 90. Another deal, 0 to 90 days, 15 grand in your pocket. So between the two, 90 days or less, even if they were back to back, I mean, you're talking, less than, approximately 4 months to make. So 15 and 7,500, $22,500.
Right.
What were you out of pocket on those outside of time, Kyle?
Just a little bit of marketing money and time calling sellers. I mean, very little money.
Didn't cost you a nickel to put that house under contract, though, did it?
So I'm sorry. Say that again.
I said didn't cost you a nickel to put that house under contract, though, did it?
It did not. No.
Kind of break that down, Kyle, if you will, just from a support standpoint. So let's say we've got John Doe just joined Pink out of any city USA. You've been assigned to them as a coach. They've got an appointment. What does that look like? What's the dialogue between you and the student? And then what does it look like when they're on site? Kind of from that support element, if you don't mind kind of sharing what our protocol would be on that.
Right. Well, up front, before the appointment, we would go over, we would look at the lead sheet and kind of go over the deal and just talk about potential scenarios and what we would do there, and kind of be prepared for the meeting when we get there. And when we go to the appointments, I mean, we've got our sign ready. I mean, we've got the paperwork ready. I mean, we're expecting to get the deal when we show up at the house. And as far as the way the home appointment would work, I would be on standby, or somebody else with our corporate staff would be on standby when the affiliate was at the home appointment. And if they needed anything, we were just a phone call away. So we're ready to support them right then and there.
No, I love that. And we obviously get tremendously positive feedback from our affiliates that say, obviously, especially right out of the gate, what that support element looks like. Look, guys, we can guarantee you're never going to cry out for a lack of support. And Kyle, let's kind of dive back in the numbers. So you've been involved with Pink for a number of years. How many deals do you think you have under your belt with Pink?
I've probably done 50, 60 deals at least over the last 4 or 5 years or more.
Too many to keep count of at this point, right?
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. And Kyle's obviously a living, walking testimonial to, look, guys, if you're coachable, you're trainable, you follow the blueprint, and you lean on corporate support, you can do a lot of really good with this. You can obviously put money in the bank. You can get money to invest, which obviously we talk frequently about on this channel, getting that, kind of passive income strategies. There are monthly passive cash flow strategies in our model itself. We're not going to dive too deeply into that right now. Kyle, who's this a good fit for? You as a coach obviously have seen the good, the bad, and the ugly come through. Who are your favorites? Who do you think is going to most benefit from our training from a personality standpoint or personality type, and go out there and really thrive with us? And then along the same lines, and we love to do these segments, when we have these testimonials on there, who should immediately eliminate themselves?
I mean, the system is very easy to follow. I mean, if you just think you're going to sign up and be able just to sit on the couch and watch TV, don't waste your money. I mean, I mean, anything takes some work. It's not hard work. I mean, if you follow our steps, it's an easy process. But I mean, it does take work. I mean, you do have to put time into it and make the phone calls and do your marketing. I mean, it's a pretty easy process. Another thing too that I always try to preach to our affiliates is leverage your time. I mean, look at getting a team member to work with you and pay them commission immediately. I mean, I think I mean, you obviously have got to learn what to do too, but I mean, just leverage your time and you can do a lot more deals and it's just easier on everybody.
Yeah, no, I think that's important because a lot of the people that I talk to, they've got that, W-2, if you will, and they're not quite ready to get out of that. And we never tell people, hey, go out there and burn the ship, right? Until you start doing deals, you break through that learning curve, if you will. Hang on to that W-2. It's going to be kind of that security blanket while you're going through this process. But, I talk to folks and they say, well, geez, I've got maybe 10 to 15 hours a week, maybe 20 hours a week. And I said, well, realistically, with that amount of time, you can maybe do a deal a month. You might have months where you did multiple deals. You might have a month where you do 0. That consistency, though, should average out to about a deal a month. That's about 15 grand a pop. Some people, though, want to scale, but they don't necessarily have the time to do so and build out some team and have some high overhead. So one of the things that we do teach at the training, and you just touched on that, is that team building exercise. And that's about getting folks kind of baked into your team that aren't necessarily overhead and you're paying them commissions based on effort and based on a per deal basis. Is that what you're saying, Kyle?
That's right. Yeah. And they can be part-time too. I mean, you're not necessarily having to hire somebody full-time, but just, I mean, find somebody else that's like-minded like you that wants to learn and has some ambition and train them and let them work with you part-time too. And just pay them up. I mean, that's the easiest way to get started, is just pay them 100% commission based on what they perform and produce.
Yeah, they eat what they kill. That's right. And again, just to kind of cement that, we do offer training to anyone that you bring onto your team at any point. So as you and if you decide to scale, we will train all of your team members, obviously at no charge. You're part of our Pink family, and that's our interest to do so. If you already know you have interest, go ahead and drop an email to pink@vipfinancialeducation.com. That's pink like the color at vipfinancialeducation.com. And the subject line, put VIP Pink Conversation. In the body of the email, go ahead and include your first, your last name, obviously the best phone number to contact you at. We'll send you an email with additional information. I myself personally will do the follow-up to gauge whether or not it's a good fit for us, good fit for you, and if we decide to move forward, what those next steps would look like. Guys, smash that thumbs up button below if you want more information like this. If you are a subscriber, thanks for joining us again. If not, please go ahead and subscribe and be sure to ding that bell below. That's going to give you notifications and updates as we bring more content like this on the VIP Financial Education YouTube channel, where we talk about all things credit, capital, and cash flow. Until next time, guys, thanks for joining us. Make it a great day. Thanks for joining us as well, Kyle.
Thank you, Mike. Enjoyed it.
What are your last couple deals? Let's go ahead and add them up. I've got the calculator in front of me right now.
Well, the last 2 deals were both visible flips. One of them was $38,000, and the other one was $27,000. I didn't expect that. It was unusual, but that was how it happened to be, because there were houses that was difficult for the realtors, and the realtors have tried it and couldn't make it work.
So between the 2 deals, $65,000 on those 2. So a 38 and a 27, correct?
38 and 27.
And it cost you how much?
It only cost me, for one of the transaction, it cost me a transaction, a transaction loan that cost me $2,000, and then $1,500 for a legal fee. So that was $3,500 in all.
Got it. So just net, basically, I mean, you're still north of 60
yes.
on those 2 deals?
Yes.
Oh.
And I'm very humbled by it.
Are you upset?
No, no, I'm very humbled by it because I didn't expect it. Come on, we don't expect it. If I could get 10, 15, 5, I'll grab it any day for a FISBO flip, right? It just so happened the circumstances are, and we learn to articulate the best for all parties. In the end, nobody questions me how much I make or is unhappy because they're happy with what they're getting, you know.
Yeah,
So
sure.